Yeah.
Oh, hey. Are we filming?
Yeah, we are.
Hey, welcome to my tiny house. My tiny, tiny house. Or as I like to call it, my real tiny house. Alright, so maybe can we get like a view of like the whole thing
We should have
perhaps?
started farther away.
Okay. Zoom out.
This is a manual zoom.
Right. Is it all in there?
It is all in there.
Alright.
That's the tiny, tiny house.
So flowers. Flowers that don't fit in a window box. Collards that I have yet to plant.
I think you mean your garden.
Garden, right. This is the garden, the starting of a garden. You know, this tiny house, well, I guess we can talk about tiny house philosophies all day long, but one of the things I wanted this house to be for me, and I think it's important to like think about, what your unique situation is and what your wants and desires are and what your resources are when you're doing the tiny house. One of the things I wanted it to be for me was kind of a hobby. I was looking for something to do. I'm in grad school right now, and I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So it's kind of a hobby, and one of the things I want to get into is gardening. So I'm starting small, right? And then, maybe we'll get bigger as time goes. It'd be nice to have like a nice full gray water garden or something like that. But let's go around to the back of the side of the house. This is the hose water faucet plumbing system.
Integrated with the garden, I see.
Yes, yes, exactly. So one of these days, again, in the future maybe, I'll have drainage that comes directly out, but most of what I take in now goes in with jugs, and what comes out comes out, either through my sink tub slash bathtub, or through the toilet or something like that. So that's how it goes in and comes out. But yeah, let's go around back. This is the backyard. Oh, did we get a shot of the goats? So it's
I
important.
was wondering if we should do that.
It's important to have good neighbors. So
Yeah. I wasn't
these,
sure if I
these goats
should.
make great neighbors.
They're very friendly goats.
Right.
Also,
The people who live here also.
the neighbors are actually friendly people
Right.
as well.
Exactly. Okay. So, carrying on. Oh, here's my tiny house. So, what I wanted my tiny house to be was super lightweight because I have a really small trailer. If you can see it, I don't know. I cheated by putting stuff outside of my house in plastic bins. That's cheating, I think. But again, a real tiny house. In that it's real tiny. But I wanted it to be super cheap, super lightweight. And I did a tar paper and shingle roof. Or actually, Laurie and some friends helped me. Laurie, your cinematographer here behind the camera. And let's see. It was really, really freaking heavy. So I went with plywood under heavy-duty white poly tarp, and it looks pretty good. I got the idea from the people who do caravans, kind of like a covered wagon kind of thing, but instead of being stretched, it's kind of stretched over plywood, and it's got insulation in the roof. We'll talk about that on the inside, the insulation situation. Here we have the trailer hitch and the ladder that I use for construction, and it also kind of doubles as a ladder up to the window. You can come out that window from the loft on the inside, and so it's just kind of like a secondary escape. Turns out I've got like, I don't know, 3 ways of getting in and out, although I've only ever used one way. That one probably needs to be exercised a little bit, tested and stuff. There's my air conditioner. Keeps things nice and cool. Been working well so far. So far, so good. All right, let's go inside, yeah?
This is a really nice paint job.
Oh, yes, yes. We can thank Laurie in large part for that paint job there. All right, we have kind of some stairs here with a little bit of a mat. The stairs were donated. They came off a stage, so, they've taken many people up to greatness as they now take us. And come on inside. So people will be wondering about the square footage. It's about the size of my king size mattress that I had to sell before moving in here. It's about 7 1/3 by 7 2/3, so a little more than 50 square feet, I think, if my math is correct. On the downstairs, of course, there's an upstairs as well. All right, where to begin? Well, we can start with the door, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
not
close
sure
the
how to
door.
get this whole thing in a shot of any sort.
Yeah, you maybe just stand as far back on the wall as you can.
Yeah.
But, I'm keeping it, again, this is a pretty small house compared to, like, most tiny houses. Super inexpensive. I've got the receipts and going through them. It's looking like it's somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 for everything. And I didn't reclaim as much stuff as you could if you had time to do it, but I did the whole thing in less than a month. So really short time frame, moving out of my old house and into a new place for the semester.
So how long have you been in here?
Ooh, what is it now? October, so going on 3 months now. I moved in around the transition to August. So August, September, moving into 3 months. Here we have stuff that's just kind of hanging on what hangs the shower curtain. This is my sink. You might have seen these things on the internet in various places. It holds a tiny propane tank over here. You screw it in, and that's where you get your hot water from. It comes out of the sink. There's an attachment for taking showers and stuff, that kind of thing. It goes in there. It's kind of designed for outdoor use because as it burns the propane. First off, propane can collect, so you have to be careful. You can smell the propane though. I don't know if it's denatured or naturally smells that way. But you keep from exploding by ventilating. That's my strategy. Also ventilating to get that carbon monoxide out when it's burning. I don't really use that much, so it doesn't burn a whole lot. But I do have a carbon monoxide detector that we'll get to, just to make sure I'm not gonna carbon monoxide myself to sleep forever. So this is the sink. This is where we wash dishes and whatnot. Wash your hands, that kind of thing. Or you can set it down there and stand in it for taking a shower. And again, the shower curtain kind of goes around here. And this is the shampoo and stuff. And it all works on this 5-gallon jug here, which I fill in the hose outside. And so you can usually take a shower in 5 gallons or wash dishes with 5 gallons. Mostly the rinsing is what takes all the water when you're doing dishes. But there's that. Here's my window. At some point I'd like to figure out a screen system. But ooh, man, it feels so good outside today. But here, there's that window, which is good when you want to get some fresh air in here. That kind of thing. Got some crossanders there in the window box. Alright, so let's see here. Moving right along, we have the refrigerator. It's kind of a tradition to have a beer along with a tiny house tour. So, Laurie, can I interest you in one?
Definitely.
Alright, I'm actually going to go side to myself. But here,
I think that's a great tradition.
I think it's a fun tradition as well. Alright.
Ooh, the exotic Yingling.
Traditions are important. They help hold our society together. Alright, so let's see. We got some stuff ready to go in the compost bin. Some muffins we didn't get to, unfortunately. Went bad a little sooner than we were expecting. Some implements. This is one of my main sources from electricity. All the electricity in this house comes through a 100-foot heavy gauge extension cable. And it comes up through the floor down here. We'll get the chair out of the way. Right here. And it runs through a gauge. Oh god, that was my carbon monoxide detector. It temporarily became unplugged. And it will let you know if that happens. But there is a gauge here that will tell us, what's today, the 4th? I've used less than $2 of electricity. So that's nice. I mean, that doesn't count the resistance going through the electricity, the power cable that comes out here, but with the air conditioner, all the cooking implements, less than $2 so far, so that's good. Let's see here. Yeah. So again, we've got all the refrigerator, the microwave, the lamp, the secondary monitor, the laptop. That's all coming off there. Let's talk about other cooking implements. I got a stove that I can bring down and set either on the microwave or on the desk. It's got 2 eyes, so that's nice. And then we have the toaster oven here on the shelf. This is one of those propane tanks that I use for the water heater. And then just various doodads, a game of Travel Battleship, some playing cards.
So do you cook much in your toaster oven?
I cook all the time in my toaster oven. Cookies are a specialty. I love those. We had some very delicious croissant this morning. So yeah, what did we cook in there last night? A lasagna, right. It was delicious. It was so good. There are, as you're looking at the fact that we have one power cable that, essentially does all the electricity, there are limits on how much you can cook at one time, like pretty much one appliance at a time. And that includes the air conditioner. I usually cut off the air conditioner if I'm cutting something or cooking something. But yeah, okay, where were we here? Here we have the closet. Welcome to my closet. We're drying a towel here. We've got recycling here. If we run out of beer, there's more PBR back there. Also, a backpacker guitar is back there. It's in its case there.
Yeah, that aligns pretty well with the tiny house philosophy, I think.
I think so. You gotta have a tiny guitar for a tiny house.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So everyone's always like, "So where do you poop, Daniel?" And you know, you can poop in a lot of different places, not wherever you like, I guess. But if you're gonna poop here, there are a couple things you need. You need a toilet. Usually, you get other people to leave the room if you're gonna be pooping down here. Or whatever. Go to the loft, maybe even go outside, depending on, you know, whatever. Got toilet paper ready to go. What else do we need? You know what? We'll just go ahead and get rid of this compost in the traditional way. Set that back there. We've got sawdust that comes out of here, so whatever you do in there, cover it with sawdust. We'll do a little demonstration of that.
Ah, composting.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And they're right. If you do it right, it doesn't smell. So this is not something I have to worry about. I started out storing the toilet outside underneath my trap door, which I'll show you. But nowadays, I kind of just leave it inside. I might make it like a nice little box or something. But, you know, it's not. I was worried about it being a big, you know, hazard and really funky smelling and stuff. But it's turned out really well. It's just easier to keep it inside, so I'll probably do that. I'm just going to take a couple bowlfuls of the sawdust. As I get this from a local lumber mill, which we do have here in Tallahassee. And there's actually a lot of lumber down here. Cover that up, and that goes there. And then here, I'll show you the trapdoor. The trapdoor is also where I keep my propane. I store my propane outside whenever I'm not taking a shower. So, lift that up right there. Drop this down in a super large Tupperware. Close it on back. Store my sawdust. And then you can wash your hands. Hand sanitizer, some combination thereof, probably a good idea. Alright, so there's that. Here we have the bar over here with the booze. The dishes. Dirty clothes or dirty dishes rack here, waiting for the next round of dishes being done. Then various storage, laundry. Here's my trash can. Got to keep a tiny trash can for a tiny house. Let's see. Same thing, storage over here. Here's my infirmary, cotton swabs, band-aids. What you're gonna need sometime. Laurie's viola and music stand. Spices, right? So, that's the other thing I didn't say about this house. So a lot of times you see a tiny house and there are like lots of nooks and crannies and it's all kind of integrated together, sort of, which is neat, but that takes a lot of time, a lot of money, a little bit of skill with carpentry, not that much, but some of it does. And you'll notice that everything here is largely on shelves. There are very few things that are custom built as like little nooky things in this house. There's kind of that little thing that the sink is on that I built just for this house. And there's the trapdoor, which is kind of neat. Which is, oh, by the way, I think the trapdoor is one of the ways to get in and out of the house if you want to, although I've never used it for that. Anyway, this house, since I've got such a tiny trailer, the idea is that it bolts apart. And I didn't mention this earlier.
This is important.
Right, it bolts apart and it goes in 2 loads. That's my plan. You could probably get this house down the road, but it's just not a heavy-duty trailer, which you need if you're going to be doing that stuff. And the construction's not heavy-duty. It's fairly lightweight construction. It's a small thing and it's pretty sturdy, but it's not super duper, I don't know, heavy. So the idea is that I use shelves and hangy things instead of building everything integrated into the walls. The walls come down. You just unbolt the walls. The roof, I tried the bolting concept. I talked about that earlier with the trying to make the roof with tar and everything, tar paper and shingles, but it's just too heavy. So the roof takes a little bit of building. But right, we're on a tour. Okay, so maybe it's time to go upstairs. All right, here's the ladder. This ladder was an interesting experiment. It started out just as like us having some wood lying around, and Laurie, who was there for much of the construction, just started building it, and it's actually worked out pretty well. So if I was going to do it again, I would maybe, I think we found that if we kind of cut off the sides so that you kind of like follow the pattern of whatever your feet are, kind of, but if you want to stand on one level, it would be good to have them going both ways. So that's just if you're building a tiny house or something in the future. All right. All right, so a couple of things up here. So, film it again?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, sitting headroom up here in the loft. A couple of key features. First off, we have a baffle here that's made out of the lid to that giant Tupperware that holds the propane in the toilet underneath the desk downstairs. And I'm not sure, there's probably a better solution to this, but it helps direct the air conditioner downstairs a little bit, and it keeps the air conditioner from blowing directly on you when you're sleeping, which, I mean, some people like fans blowing on them, but I'm like the opposite of that. So there's that. There's a dehumidifier over here, a little baby dehumidifier. I think it costs like $35, $40, and it works probably better than these things. These are rechargeable dehumidifiers that you plug in, which you can use, but I think they're meant more for closets than, you know, full rooms or tiny houses. So you want me to take the camera while you climb up here?
Okay.
This is the view going downstairs.
There's a foot in the way.
There's a foot. This is Laurie climbing the ladder.
Oops, I brought my shoes with me this time. I don't know why.
Kick them on off. There we go.
Yep.
All right. So here, you want to take the camera back? Maybe. Okay. So here we are. This is technically, theoretically, this is a full-size bed. The mattress is a full-size mattress, but it goes kind of underneath this insulation here on this side. You can see the insulation on both sides. It goes all the way down on this side, but by whatever quirks of me building this thing, it doesn't go all the way down over here, which allows me to kind of fit the full-size bed in there, but really I'm gonna have to, I don't know, it can be a little cramped on this side with, you know, lots of people up here, but for one person it's more than enough. So anyway, that's the size of the bed if you're interested in that kind of thing. Here's my window that I keep covered kind of for insulation purposes. My window on one side is just like a little porthole kind of thingy. That's kind of my landlord's house slash her little picnic area out there. And there's an opening window on that side. And Laurie, would you like to actuate that window?
I think I was avoiding this before because there were spiders outside.
There are spiders outside
But
preventing
that's
bugs from getting
the
inside.
window opening.
And then, can you show the ladder that kind of brings everything full circle to where we were earlier?
That's the backyard.
Woo! Backyard, all right.
Yep.
All right, so we've been downstairs, we've been upstairs. I can take the camera back if you want to go on down. There's the air conditioner.
Closing the window.
All my stuff.
Yeah, nice
Again,
shelf
this is
here.
looking down. Oh yeah, nice little shelf for all your earplugs and candles and you know, whatever you want to have there. I probably wouldn't light all those candles at once. This is
Exactly where
wood
they are.
here. Right, exactly. Maybe I would move them a little bit. There's my gloves. Those kind of things. Some books. Some this guy's got this book that I've heard about and it makes for a pretty good read. A lot of my composting is kind of based on
Are
that.
you giving a book list?
Yeah, yeah. That Moby Dick over there.
Oh.
All right, coming down. So I guess we should go outside and maybe give the actual compost pile a look, and that'll probably do it.
Sounds like it's about it.
Unless there's anything else to talk about here. But what's going on?
What's the question that people ask you the most about your house?
Definitely, where does the pooping happen? I think is the number one question. And I lived for a while without a toilet in there, just going to other places. That was okay, but I was quite excited once this all got set up. So this is a super simple construction. It's open so the worms can do their thing on their own time, coming in and out of the ground. This is meant to be an aerobic thermophilic compost pile that heats up, and I don't know what the temperature of it is right now. I've got a thermometer on the way, and we'll give it a shot, but there it is. That's where the toilet contents go, and then I dump out the bucket, cover it with sawdust, and then cover that with straw. But I'll show the equipment over here. This is the shovel. This is where I keep my sawdust in these two bins here. I'm out there, I've still got a little more here, and then this is where I keep the hay. So, nothing too complicated. I line the bottom of the bucket with hay and then a little bit of sawdust, and then every time you use the toilet, cover it with a little more sawdust. And then when you dump the bucket out, cover it with a little bit of sawdust. And that really makes the world go round. Alright, I guess back to the house now. The friendly neighbors we had mentioned earlier. Alright, well.
Excellent.
I guess that's about all I've got for right now.
Thanks for sharing your tiny house.
Thanks for filming, Mark.